Hey, what's up, Chris? Man, I can't hear you. I got no audio. Let me try refreshing again.
Hey, can you hear me now? Everybody, you got me? Awesome, awesome. Okay. Must have looked like I was just miming for a minute or two. All right, cool. Let me try
But
that
you should
again.
just mime and play with me, you know?
There we go. Okay, take two. What's going
Yeah.
on, Sumolings? Chris here from AppSumo. We got an awesome webinar for you today. We are luckily joined by my man Kyle from Alli AI. And so this is going to be great. So Kyle, thank you for hopping on with us to share your tool and share your story.
Right on, right on. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So before we jump in, I think everybody would love to know kind of what got you to the point where you were building Alli. What's kind of your journey, your path looking like?
Yeah, sure. So I started out as kind of just an SEO consultant, like, man, nearly 10 years ago, which is like, I don't know, crazy. It makes you feel old. And, it got to the point a few years ago, I was working for, kind of had a handful of like kind of enterprise clients at the same time. And, there's only so many hours in the day, and there was just only so many, clients I could work for at once. And I really kind of felt like I had a ceiling on my career. And so I really thought, hey, I got to go in, I got to figure a way to automate how much SEO I'm doing so I can take on more clients or take on a bigger role with the clients I'm working with or whatever. And that was kind of like the seed that I planted that over time, became Alli. I started, I learned to code, started automating this process, that process, just together, and eventually combined those into one app. And that became Alli AI.
That's awesome. And so what's been the main focus with Alli? How have you been? Who's like the main person that should be using this? I imagine there's a lot of people that ripple out from that, but if you're going to kind of pick that ideal user.
Yeah. Like I started building for myself. I'm not going to lie, guys. I started it for my own consulting business. We've seen so far. I've been in business a little over a year. I'd say 4 major categories. So they never give a number on live stuff, but I'd say the big ones we get consultants and agencies. Obviously, a lot of agencies use Alli, which perfectly makes sense. We get local businesses to use Alli, whatever, my law firm in Timbuktu or selling buttons or just whatever you're selling. If you want, people coming up, ringing the door, calling the phone. We also have startups, kind of tech businesses. And then the fourth one we see a lot of are e-commerce sites, just good old fashioned, Shopify sites or the different platforms selling products. And, there's some others, but those are the 4 major categories.
Cool. So would you say, because there's like, we got the consultants who I imagine are a lot more advanced in kind of the digital marketing space. And then you have the small mom and pop shops who probably don't know a ton about that. So how does that work? Do you need kind of advanced marketing skills to use it? Or is it like, can someone who knows really nothing about SEO pop in and be good?
We got a great review, man, that like touched my heart like a couple months ago. And a guy said, I remember the exact quote. He said, "It's easy enough for beginners, but detailed enough for pros."
Awesome.
That's something that, I was a pro when I started it, right? I've been doing this for years, but I also knew like, hey, if I want, local businesses coming in here who don't have my knowledge, this has got to be something they can use as well. So that's why, Alli, when you log in, you're going to have a list of recommendations for optimizing your site. And we just put in there painstakingly, believe me, it takes time, as many examples as we can on how to do it. And just as detailed as step-by-step instructions as possible on how to do everything from the first task to the 250th.
Yeah. So how does it actually optimize your SEO? Like what process is it going through?
Let's see. Well, the first thing that happens let me back up for a second. We have a really keyword focused approach to optimizing, and also I'd say a low hanging fruit approach to optimizing your site. So when you build your account on alliai.com, add your website, what Alli's going to do is go out and find your, let's say, your highest priority keywords. It's going to give you a big list of like, hey, these are all the keywords that we think you can rank for. There's going to be a kind of a priority score. We call it an Alli score for, great branding and marketing guys. Yeah. And, but the idea behind that is we want to we want you to focus on the specific actions you can take. They're going to bring you the fastest, most profitable traffic tomorrow. So that's what that Ollie score is all about for each keyword. It's like, hey, this is going to bring you X amount of revenue or whatever in the next month and recurring monthly. And so we're just really prioritizing from there. And so what happens is you pick those keywords, you go in, Ollie can select a focus keyword for you, or you can pick it yourself, doesn't matter. And what happens is Ollie's going to go out and go through all the backlinks in your niche for that keyword, check out your site, check out the page that ranks for that keyword, just kind of everything possible to tell you exactly step-by-step how to rank for that keyword. And, you know, on any given keyword, you might see 150, usually 200 to 250, sometimes 300 tasks. So there's like, it can be a lot to do for every keyword. We've heard that feedback, but also, you know, for the pros, they want the, you know, they want to see everything they can do.
Yeah. So let me, maybe we jumped in a little too quick. Let me back up and let's imagine someone's just getting into marketing for their business. They've heard SEO. Everyone's heard SEO, but might kind of just be like, it's just kind of one of those terms we talk about, but don't actually know how to do it. So what's like the sales pitch on why someone should be focusing on SEO? Maybe they're doing Facebook ads. Maybe they're just kind of like building an email list, but it's like, why should they do SEO?
Yeah. Well, the great thing about SEO is when you make that like initial investment to, you know, to rank higher, once you rank higher, once you're getting that traffic, it's coming in every month. You're not having, you know, once you get past a certain point, you don't have to continue as high as an investment. Like I run Facebook ads as well for my business. I mean, don't be wrong, you know, ads are wonderful, but like sometimes when that bill comes in every month, I'm not feeling so wonderful, you know. It's like, but with our you know, with our own leads and our own clients we get from SEO, it's great because, you know, I put in that time, you know, to rank us. You know, we're like #1 for like AI for SEO and SEO AI are in the top 3. And I put in that time, I ranked us there, and guess what? That's just coming in every month automatically, and I'm not having to go out and spend money on doing it. It's just it's an upfront investment that just pays dividends as the years go on.
So from the highest level, SEO is basically search engine optimization. You're optimizing your website, whether it's with keywords or the way you're doing like headings and things like that, so that when somebody Googles for a certain topic, you're pulling up higher in those search results, and then you're able to get a lot of organic content. People are just Googling around, coming to your site instead of you having to send ads or have them on your email list or through an affiliate or something like that. And it can, the understanding is it takes some time, but it builds up and you can get a lot of steam behind it.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate the clarification there, Chris. I'm maybe a little bit too in the weeds on the technical specifics.
I feel you, because SEO is something that I have never really spent a whole ton of time learning about. So this is great for me to kind of get that high level review. So what does, you were mentioning how there can be like 300 or so tasks. What is a task within Ollie?
Yeah. So, you know, to give like a quick like 80-20 of SEO, the most important thing when it comes to SEO, this has been the case for 20 years when Google started, it's the case now, is backlinks. So that's our main priority with you know, with ranking your site. So in total we have our, you know, Alli AI master algorithm, and then we have kind of 5 sub algorithms. So one of those is going to be optimizing your on-page content. That might be content, that might be different stuff with your code. We'll also go through, check your different kind of server configurations, and then it's all about the links. We have the niche links, which those are kind of the, I mean, it is what it sounds like. It's all the links that are in your niche that your competitors have that they're ranking with. Yeah, we go through, we figure out how to tell you how to get those, and we do brand links and citations.
Backlink is basically other websites that are adding a link to your website. And so basically Google is like, okay, you're a resource because a lot of other websites are linking to you. So you must have something valuable.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what Google started off with. That was their whole theory, is like, hey, a website is probably important if other websites are talking about it. That is like the foundation of Google. So we work from that foundation outwards. You know, we went back and read their, you know, the PhD paper that Larry Page and Sergey Brin did back at Stanford, and we watch their patents every month and all sorts of stuff.
All right. So you said there's these sub algorithms that you guys are running off of. One of them is on page. The other one is it backlinks? What else is going on?
Yeah, we have three. Actually, we have three different
Okay.
backlink
Oh
algorithms.
wow.
If you wanted to get like really specific, you could actually say five different ones, but we categorize them together. Blah blah blah. And yeah, so we check for brand links, which is these are kind of what we did early on. Is we went out and looked at just what the top linking sites are on the internet, and kind of collected a big pile of those, and we kind of match your site to the best of those links that match you. Um, the niche links, these are kind of the links that all of your competition has. And then we also have another algorithm called outreach links. And this is for like kind of, anytime there's discussions going on about your niche or about your keywords, we kind of clue you in on that. Or if we think there are opportunities to get maybe editorial posts on other websites or guest posts or whatever, we give you a task for that. So really, truly, it's like every kind of possible backlink category, opportunity, whatever. Like we're adding it, and yeah.
Awesome. So how accurate are those recommendations that you guys are putting forward to the users?
Yeah, great question. It depends niche per niche. Our target, look, this is software. It's not perfect. There's never we're never going to have 100% accuracy. It's really not possible. I mean, even Google doesn't have anywhere near, I don't know how much you guys would, even when I Google for stuff, they don't always tell me what I'm looking for. But our target is, we'd like to stay around the 80% accuracy range. That's what we've seen with our own team. We use the software ourselves. And we generally find for any given given group of recommendations, you should be able to complete 80%, or 80% should be appropriate. That's definitely the number we have in mind. And we're always working. We've gotten some great feedback from the AppSumo community so far. Like, we're always trying to improve it and revise it, and it's happening over time, piece by piece. But yeah, that 80%, that's really my number. That's what we keep an eye on.
Cool. I lost your screen. It just went black. Are you still able to see me?
Yo. Yeah. Hey, I see you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where you went.
Oh man.
Yeah, let's
refresh.
do that. You can pop out for a second. Oh, people can see you. Maybe this is just an issue on my end. Hey.
Oh.
Right. Well then, if everyone can see you, I'm fine with that.
All right.
But
cool,
it looks like yeah. So if we want to, let's you want to pop into the demo if you got that available?
Yeah, sure. Let me let's see. Share your screen. All right. Oh, there we go. The Inception stuff.
Hey, that's what everybody loves.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let me I'll do how about this? Just kind of a real quick walkthrough of kind of what the process is like once you hop into Alli. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sound good for everybody?
Yeah, and before we get started, I will say to everyone, I know you guys got questions. Let's make sure we ask those below the video. There's a question box, so throw them in there, and then once we finish the demo, we'll go back through there and try to answer as many of those questions as we can. But yeah, right now we'll pop into that demo and show everybody what they've been waiting for.
All right, right on. So once you go in, you add your site, you redeem your code, all that fun stuff. The first thing Alli's going to ask you is to add your sites. That's well, duh. And so we work on like a domain level. So right here we're going tesla.com. So you just click create site, and I've already kind of preloaded these because sometimes this can take a minute to load all this data. I know our servers are getting hammered right now. The development team's working on it. So what happens when once you add that site, Alli goes out and, like I was talking about, finds your kind of most recommended keywords. And what this is going to do right here, you see this Alli score. What this is going to do is kind of prioritize your keywords by what Alli thinks is going to give you the most bang for your buck for optimizing them. So you can see we added Tesla.com as a kind of a demo, and they're not even ranking for like Tesla Supercharger or Powerwall, which is really surprising. But I went back and checked it, and they weren't. Like I couldn't believe that. But
that's wild.
I guess they're too busy selling cars, I mean, hey. Yeah, you never know with Google. So what happens is you go in here and you can kind of pick these keywords, whichever ones you want to focus on, and then just if you want to focus on a specific country, like we're in, I think every country that Google's in, we're in. You just check that here, or whatever language, and you can also track local results down to wherever your local town, city, and we have we basically have we're in every town, city that Google is in. So that's a lot. I think it's I don't remember, tens of thousands. that you can pick from there. And what happens there is, sometimes like if you're in Denver and you search for lawyers near me, Google's going to give you different results than if you're searching in Miami. So what that lets you do is just like, if you're a local business or you have whatever, for whatever reason you would rank locally, that lets you specify like, hey, this is just for my specific town.
Yeah.
So then what happens is once you go in and kind of add your keywords, Ollie's going to run some analysis. Let me back this out a little bit. I can see everything. So the way we work, well, one, you can see right here, we track all of your keywords in this keyword tracking box. So you can see where everything ranks. You can see the volume on them and all that fun stuff. Ollie works off a basis of a focus keyword, which is, how do I explain this? So I'd say my kind of theory is on any given time, there's maybe one keyword you should be prioritizing for on any given day, or maybe at a week at a time. So we prioritize on that keyword based on the one that's going to give you the most bang for your buck on getting the, most traffic the fastest. So in Tesla's case, that's, right now solar roof shingles cost in terms of volume, in terms of the value of the traffic, the cost per click, and all this sort of thing. So once you set that focus keyword is set. Oh, 1 second. My screen's bugging a little bit. There we go. So once you set that, you can see we're going to have this like kind of high priority task box right here, which these are going to be what Ollie says are kind of the, highest priority tasks for you to complete for you to rank this keyword. And of course, you can see these sub algorithms I was talking about, the on-page link, the on-page optimizations, on-site, outreach links, brand links, niche links, all right there.
Yeah.
So just to break down on that a little bit, here's what the niche links look like. They are. We include a probability score, which is kind of an Ollie estimate on, how probable you are to be able to build that link. So we have for all your keywords here, you have all of these niche links that you can add. And then for every single one of these links, we have, step-by-step process to the greatest degree possible. We also include examples like, hey, these are where your competitors are getting backlinks from that same site. So you can go through there. If you're not sure how to get the link, you can go through there and see, okay, that's what my competitor's doing. That's what my competitor's doing, and recreate the process.
Awesome.
And the same thing you can see here's for our on pages. This is the whole, all the different on-page optimizations you can have. You can see for Tesla, like, they need to add schema markup. They need to add title tags to their links. They have multiple H1 tags for this page and so on and so forth. So yeah, just over time, those build up and you can just go in and just knock them out. And it's the same thing. We have, step-by-step instructions to the greatest degree possible. We can't tell you perfectly everything, but we do as best we can. So you can just go out there and knock those out. And we also have an impact score, which is kind of let you prioritize. Like, okay, if it's a 10, that means this is going to be really important. And I need to go ahead and do it as soon as I can, right?
Yeah.
And let's see. Brand links, I talked about those. These are kind of the local citations or different social media sites. And we have, we order those by the relevance for you. On-site task. What on-site tasks are, they're a little bit different in that your on-site tasks, these are issues that affect every page on your site. So it's kind of not just related to your focus keyword, but it's related to the entire domain. And so there's about 37 different factors that we check for here. A big one that causes problems is JavaScript page load issues. We're always on the lookout for those, and that can really cause issues for a lot of sites. And it's a similar story. So for every one of these tasks, we're going to show in and we're going to go in there and say, hey, you need to fix this. Here's how you do it. If something's wrong, these are the specific files, the specific bits of code that need working on. So like I said, we do that for every single one of these tasks. And like I talked about before, here are outreach links. And again, outreach links, it's all about anytime there's discussion going on about your niche or product, you can, kind of hop in there, contribute it for it, maybe get a link or, expand your brand or maybe get some traffic from it. We just added this, we go out and look for kind of guest post or editorial link opportunities related to your keywords. So if we find a site that we think you can get a guest post on, we'll, give you all the information about the site and we'll say, hey, here's how you go in and pitch a guest post. And this is like a big mover and shaker for SEO. Anytime you can get what's called those contextual links. You can get a link to your site with content. Like that's huge for SEO.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. And yeah, that's kind of all the different, like, sorry if I blew through that too quick, guys. That's kind of all the different kind of category types. There's a lot to go through. As you can see, these are just for, like a couple of keywords here for this site. And we have, I don't even know, like almost 1,000 tasks right here. So, it can be a little bit to go through. I would say don't let yourself get overwhelmed by the sheer number of tasks. If you're kind of new to SEO, start off just focusing on this top box right here, these focus keyword tasks, where we really try to prioritize like the top 10 for you at any given time. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? So anything? Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, let's, again, if people got questions, let's throw them below the video. But yeah, you're cool with it. I'll run through some of these questions that people got, and we can take our best stab at answering them.
Sure.
Awesome. So Ryan says, I'm in the early stages of building my SEO agency, and this tool could be beneficial to automate some of the work. I'm also a solo act right now, so this may be able to replace some virtual assistant work. I'm curious if there is a recommendation on how many codes to stack, which will scale well for an agency. Your website has a business plan, which is equivalent to 5 codes, and an enterprise plan, which is 10 codes. What are your thoughts on stacking? Let's see. If the goal is to manage 20 clients, that's a lengthy question, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, in the case of the codes, that's going to be related to how many VAs you're working with. We have, like, for every code you get to add 1 team member. So obviously if you're going to be working with a huge team of VAs, like, you're going to need more codes. I mean, I think that the top, the 10 code plan includes 100 websites. So, hey man, if you get 100 clients, like, I salute, like, much respect, my man. Like, hey, yeah. So that's the biggest thing. It depends on how, the team you're working with. You can get a lot done. We manage quite a few clients with, like, kind of, 5 team members, but, hey, if you're confident that you can sell, like, hey, stack the codes, believe me. I mean, I gotta be real. You're never going to get a better deal on Alli AI than what you're getting right now with AppSumo. So if you want those team members, like, stack the codes. Like, I'm not just trying to shill. I am shilling, but, like, it's the reality of the situation. So
yeah, no, for sure. It's a great deal, and it's a great product. So we've already seen people have been scooping up these codes like wildfire. So yeah. And as everyone knows, we got our 60-day money back guarantee. So you can play around, let us know. You got 2 months to check it out, really get in there, see how it works for your business, and we'll always take care of you. Awesome. So that is Ryan, got you taken care of. Next up, let's see. Pat says, can I have just 1 focus keyword at a time, or is it 1 per website?
So when you enter a site into Alli, so you could, right here, like on this new site setup, so there's going to be 1 focus keyword per that site. Now you can go in, like, let me find it here. You can go in right here, and if you want to change the focus keyword, you can just click on that keyword. And
we don't have your screen share on right now.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. So let me turn that back on, fellas.
Cool. And I'll blow it up.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. Awesome.
I wanted you to see.
Everyone should be able to see that now.
Yeah. So, on any given site, now you could, if you have, like, 1 large site with a lot of different keyword categories, you could add, the same site multiple times. And I would try to group the keywords together. Like, it's not a perfect solution. Like, honestly, I think eventually we're going to have a different way of handling that. But, it kind of is what it is right now. Our software is like a year old. It's not perfect yet, but that's the best way to go about it at the moment. But you can change your focus keyword anytime. You just go down here, click on whatever you want that focus keyword to be. And this is going to, kind of show you a page all about that keyword. And you just click right there, set focus keyword. And so, yeah, you can change it whenever to whatever you want it to be. And also, when you change that focus keyword, excuse me, one thing I have to clarify, you can change it twice per day. That's just a limitation just to keep our servers from getting, completely melting down. Because we're pulling out, like, anytime you run that focus keyword, we're pulling together about 4,000 different data points. So it takes a minute to pull that data in. But when you change that focus keyword, you still, you can still go in and see all the old tasks. Like you can see right here, these keywords are different. So you can still, change your focus keyword. You want to go back and check for the niche links for whatever your keyword was. You can still do that. Like all that other data is still accessible. It's just, not going to be your focus keyword on kind of the main Ollie screen, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Hope that answers you, Pat. Next up, our friend Ryan. This is a personal question. Why did you decide to go from running an agency to going in and building a software tool? Good question, Ryan.
Yeah, that's a great question. I really kind of always wanted to have a software. That was just that was just what I always wanted to do. It's just early on, I didn't have the skills to do it. And so, and kind of at one point, I even thought like, hey, maybe, I'm making a good living here as a consultant. Maybe it just is what it is. And then Ollie kind of came together for me. But, I think it was just kind of personal ambition, personal taste. I love running this business, man. It just really fits me. And which nothing against client and consultant SEO. That was great. It's honestly less stressful, but but running a startup, like there's nothing like it. I just love it. So not a great answer, but it was just like, just what I wanted to do. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So what advice would you have for somebody who's starting an agency, whether SEO or otherwise, in terms of working with clients, finding clients? What were some of those most successful things for you?
Yeah, I got really a lot of mine were just kind of word of mouth. What I got, I would say, first thing you got to do is sell. Like get the client, close the deal. Like that's the first priority, guys. Don't be wrong. I want you to use my product to fulfill it. Like I want you to buy 10 codes, but like, the first thing you got to have money coming in. So, get you a few clients, do a great job. The great thing about consulting, in some ways, it's like being like a stock market investor or something. Like, hey, if you're ranking your clients, man, you got no problems. You can walk through that office and you're the lion in there or whatever. So I'd say that's the two big things: is close those deals and figure out how to rank them and get them good results. And I want to give y'all a number 3. This is a mistake I made early on. Clients will say, and they'll even mean it. They'll even say, hey, I don't mind being patient. I know SEO takes time. None of them are patient. Nobody is patient. So you want to have something like that first month when you bring a client on, like you want to be able to just figure out something you can deliver that first month, something nice and shiny that you can show them like, hey, here's what I did the first month. Your money is being invested wisely. You're going to get good results and good returns on that. So just that first month, make sure you got something coming in. And that's kind of with some of the theory with like why I have these focus keywords the way it is. It's because I want guys, when they come in here and you have a client, I want us to focus on the keyword where that first month your clients can be happy, right? So this is the lowest hanging fruit, the quickest win keyword. And a lot of these tasks, it's just like the quickest way to get a little rankings jump so that client comes back month 2, 3, 4, and hopefully stays for years.
Yeah. And I imagine you could use Ollie as like a great way to, in the closing process, to be like, hey, listen, I already looked through all your keywords. Yeah. I hooked up your site. I saw where it's ranking. I think these are the keywords we could go after. Then you're kind of presenting that report, and it's like, oh shit, you know what you're talking about. You got all of this stuff figured out. All I got to do is say yes, sign on the dotted line, and then you're off to the races.
Yep. And that's a great point, Chris. Actually, we had so far in AppSumo, like the Symlinks, one of quite a few people have requested actually kind of having a PDF export, like a report of some of this stuff. And that they could put their logo on. We don't have that ready for you guys yet, but that's definitely on our dev pipeline. Like I think that's something we need to have. And I don't want to like promise like, hey, it's gonna be tomorrow because we got a big to-do list, believe me. But, yeah. I think that's something that let me know in the chat, but that's something you guys like to see. Like we'll definitely be on that soon.
Awesome. How's everyone feeling about Ollie? Let us know in the comments. Have you guys already bought it? Are you gonna buy it? You still got questions about it? Hit us up. We're still going through these questions, so let us know where you're at. Next question we got, is this for organic ranking or local ranking options? I imagine both. How's
those aren't mutually exclusive. So local ranking, your organic rankings, organic is just it's SEO rankings. It's a kind of a fancy way of saying where you rank in Google. So you have your Google, your AdWords, which is your ad spends with Google, and these are where you rank in the actual search results. So sometimes those search results can be local, sometimes they're national, international. We definitely let you focus on local. If you'll go back and see right here, you can track those local results. Just put in the city or zip code or whatever where you live, and we'll pull up those local results for you for your keywords.
Awesome.
And if you ever, also another thing, if you ever want to go back, maybe you change your mind and the keyword you already entered, you did national, but you want to go back and change it to local. There's a little edit button. You can go right here and boom, change it to wherever, whenever later on.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right. I got a question from, let's see, Jessica. And Jessica, I feel your pain on this one because I don't know a ton about SEO. So Jessica wants to know, what kind of support will she have since she has no clue what she's doing? Whether there's onboarding material or things like that. What's the best way for somebody who's new to the game to get in with Alli and kind of get the most bang for their buck?
Sure. When you come on, we have a kind of like an email onboarding process where we try to give a big picture of what everything's going on, why you're seeing what you're seeing. We've gotten some good feedback on that, which is like really nice to hear. I wrote it myself, so it's nice to hear the good feedback. But honestly, I'd say the best thing we do is having all of these tasks coming with step-by-step instructions.
Awesome.
So Jessica, I would say you get in there, click on your task. Read the instructions. The first couple of times you go through, anytime you're learning a new skill, there's always like that steep learning curve when you get in there. Like I'm trying to learn how to play the bamboo flute right now, and I don't know, half the time I'm lucky if any sound at all comes out, and then other times it sounds like a dying animal. It's like but when you do it a few times over and over again, like you get better, and then maybe after a week or two, like you won't even need to read the instructions. You'll just be seeing this, and it'd be like the Matrix. You see what's going on behind the scenes. So it'll get easier and easier. So I'd say stick with it, Jessica, for sure. Just
awesome.
Time and repetition.
Cool. Awesome. Let's see, asking some questions about how this compares with other SEO tools. So we got Hike, we have SERPstat. Why would somebody use this, or what are some of the features, or just what's the, how do they all compare? How do they stack up?
Sure. Okay, so I'm gonna say, first of all, like I gotta be honest, I don't really use other SEO tools. Like I built this to use myself. Like so I can't really those are all great companies. Like there's so many great companies and make great SEO tools out there. And like, I don't want to ever talk bad about any of them. I know some of the owners, all great people, all working hard on their products. I would say the one thing that we really do differently is we're not so much an analysis tool. I think of us as an action tool. That really goes back to when I was building this just for my own, consulting business, my own agency. Like I didn't have time to do, I'm dealing with like dozens of sites, thousands of keywords. I don't have time to go in and analyze everything every day. Like I need to know, like, okay, what's my top priority keyword today for this site? What do I need to do today for this site to, make my client happy, to rank my site higher? So I'd say that's the feedback I hear. That's the one thing that really separates us is we handle the analysis for you. Our algorithms handle that analysis for you. So you just focus on the action. So, a big time saver for sure. But of course, all those companies are great. I really don't want to say a stray word against them. Those are all, most of them good folks doing good stuff. But I'd say that action focus is what we do really well.
Yeah, no, that's great. Because there are a lot of great tools. We run a lot of great tools, but all of them kind of work differently. I mean, I think a good comparison is like CRM tools. Like sometimes people love a certain CRM tool and other people just don't. It doesn't work for them because everyone has a different process, a different workflow, a different way they like to see things. So that's why it's good to get in, play around with them, and see what works for kind of your particular style, your company, your clients that you work with.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I agree 110% for sure.
Awesome. Let's see. Mikhail is asking, any reporting tools for clients, basically showing month-to-month comparison or progression, basically showing how, I know we talked about that PDF export, but what options are available now to be able to present to clients?
Yeah, that's something I've heard a little bit of feedback. I think that's something we're going to, kind of as we add the reports on kind of a client. I'm thinking out loud here, so don't commit me to this, guys. Let me, and also I'm open to feedback. Particularly guys, if you're stacking codes, like give me your feedback on what you want to see. But thinking out loud here, I think we need to do a better job of like when giving you if you're working with clients, giving you something, or you're kind of when you're trying to close that deal, to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do for you. It might look something like this task list or something like that. And then also in month one, you can go back and say, hey, this are the changes we make. I mean, we have the data. You can see right here, this is a new account, so it doesn't have all these keyword changes yet. But over time, we can, we'll show you how your keywords, how the rankings change, kind of day to day or month to month or whatnot. So that's stuff we already have the data for it. We just kind of have to figure out the best way to serve our customers with that, and then add those features to it.
You guys have mentioned it. Well, we'll find it there. Okay. Then what do you help me?
Getting some interference in here, or is that just me?
What's up? Yeah, I just heard some background noise, but it seems to have cleared up right now.
All right.
Awesome.
Hey, Bill, if that's you, mute your mic, bro.
Come on, Bill.
Yeah. No.
All right. Crystal wants to know, is this an app that is installed on my website? Is it standalone? How does all that work? Do you have to install anything on your website, or do you just log into Olli and get set up?
Yeah, this is a standalone cloud app. This nothing goes on your website. You don't download this to your desktop. This is just a good old fashioned standalone cloud app.
Awesome. All right. Next up, Carrie. Carrie says, I'm a social media marketer. My primary goal is not SEO, but I want to be able to show and get improvement, maybe grow and get improvement. So how does Olli speak to somebody in that boat?
It's not optimal. I mean, look, this is an SEO tool. It's not necessarily it's not a social media tool. It's just not. I would say the one thing that might be worth looking into for you is, Carrie, is under these outreach links, we do have, we call these discussion recommendations, where we monitor Reddit, Quora, or any other kind of, excuse me, like kind of discussion or social media kind of sites or commentary going on around your keywords. We'll kind of monitor those and kind of give you a ping like, hey, somebody's talking about your keywords here, and we think, it looks like you can join the conversation as well. That'd probably be the one area you would find valuable. But like in general, hey, it's a SEO tool. We're not a social media tool. That's just, it is what it is.
Cool. So we got some questions about what the actual URLs mean in terms of the deal with the single codes and then stacking.
Yep.
Could you walk through some of that if you got it off the top of your head?
Yeah, sure. So let's see here. So what that means is the URLs are mapped to the keywords. So your big focus is how many keywords you want to optimize for. So keep in mind, like all of these, if you see these 150 niche link recommendations, 35-point analysis, on-page optimizations, all these things are actually on a per keyword basis. So the total number is like 100 to 150 times 100 keywords. So what happens is when you enter your keywords, Olli picks up what URL ranks for those automatically. You can see that right here. Olli will show you, hey, this is a tesla.com/solar roof that ranks for a solar power roof. And then Ollie's going to go in and analyze that page URL to tell you, what you need to do to rank it. So kind of keywords and page URLs are kind of tied together in our system right now. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I got a lot of feedback. I'm not entirely happy with how we're doing that right now. That's something we might change over time, but it's kind of, I want to go through the data of how you guys are using it. Once the dust settles in this AppSumo offer, get the feedback on how we're doing it. So at some point there might be some changes to that a little bit, but yeah, for now, your page URLs, these are tied to the keywords that you want to optimize for.
Cool. Okay, so what is the best way for Sumolinks to give you feedback or ideas or things they'd like to see incorporated?
Yeah, sure. On that, when you go on our site, we have this little help thing right here from Zendesk. So just, drop me a line right there. I'll read everything. Just say, hey, I got a piece of feedback. We have a 24/7 support team. If you got feedback, they're going to tag me. If they can, they're going to tag me on everything. Also on kind of like, we have an onboarding email process. Drop me a line there. So I pretty much see everything that goes on in here. So yeah, any one of those, you'll be able to figure it out. Don't worry about that. So.
Awesome. All right. Will is asking, how does this estimate revenue returns? Does it incorporate my product prices?
No, sorry, not yet. That's a little, It's not a bad idea, but kind of the technical feasibility of that is a little bit down the road for us. We work off a basis. This is actually what I always use for my clients. So we work off a basis of the cost per click for a given keyword. So you can see right here for like Tesla Powerwall, Google gives us a $2.11 cost per click. So the way our algorithm works, kind of summarize it, is we kind of estimate like, okay, if you optimize this keyword and let's say you jump to position 20 or if you rank for, if the keyword, if you rank for, I don't know, 2 spots or whatever, we kind of figure out like, hey, what's a reasonable jump? What's a normal jump that we've seen from our other clients? How much is your kind of traffic value going to go up based on that jump? So if you jump up from spot 10 to spot 1, you're going to see whatever increase in traffic, and then using the cost per click, we put a value on that traffic. So if you see an increase of 1,000 more monthly visitors on a keyword that's worth $2 cost per click, we kind of guesstimate that at a $2,000 traffic score. Does that make sense? I realize that might sound a little bit vague, but to be honest, the algorithm's kind of complicated, so it's not the easiest thing to explain, but I hope that roughly gives you an idea.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. And if we got further questions, people can follow up with that.
Please. It might be an easier thing to write out than to actually talk out, to be honest.
Cool. So Marilyn's got another great question. So is Ollie coming up with the keywords based on your domain, or is it based on what we type in? I hope it's the first, because I don't know what the ideal keywords are. So how would somebody navigate that?
Exactly. It's based on your site. Once you like right here for tesla.com, and you say that, or whatever your domain name is, then we're going to go out and we're going to look for, the keywords you already rank for, and kind of give that recommendation based on what we can see the growth being. And in some cases, if you don't rank for anything yet, then we'll actually go analyze your site and just kind of figure out what your content keywords are and give recommendations for that as well. But it's not based on anything you type in. It's just based on the domain. We try to make it as easy as possible for you to come in and get started.
Awesome. Cool. Let's see. We'll go through.
One thing if I can here, Chris, is also, if you ever want to add any more keywords, you can just click this button right here. If for whatever reason Ollie doesn't find a keyword you think you should be there, you can just type that in manually. You're not limited to those keywords Ollie finds for you. So hey, whatever you want to throw in there, be my guest.
Sweet. Looks good. All right, we'll do a couple more questions. So let's see here. Steph asks, can we switch out the domains that are being tracked as needed?
You can, I mean, I'm not really sure exactly how to answer that, but you can always add a site or delete a site. You're not going to be able. So for like Tesla.com here, we're not going to edit this site to start tracking solar panels for Ford.com. But if you ever want to delete a site, if you ever want to add a site, you 100% can. Just right here, add a site. If you go back to the site menu, you can delete one. So yeah, you can kind of add and delete, but we're not going to change. If you tried to change the domain for this group of keywords, like, well, I don't know, that wouldn't even. None of these tasks would be worth anything anymore. So yeah, the system doesn't work that way. But you can always add and delete. Yes.
Awesome. All right. Where is it? So Pat asks, not every backlink has an equal value. Are suggestions in any way sorted in backlink value or an ease of getting them?
Yes. So we're sorting them right now with the niche links in terms of the ease of getting them. With the backlinks, we sort those by how relevant they are to your site. And also with the outreach links, we sort by relevance. I wanting to improve that actually. What I'm thinking over the next couple of months is every single backlink, my vision is we should have one, how relevant it is to your site, two, the kind of probability, how easy it'll be to get that link, and three, what that power is. So we kind of have that data all in different places. And I think over the next couple of months, we're going to kind of have that in. So every recommendation is like even more tailored to you and just give you absolutely the most bang for your buck. So the answer is yes, but we're going to do an even better job of that in the future.
Awesome. All right. What are the language options for Ollie?
Yeah, I mean, it's everything, guys. It's like, here, let me pop this up right here. It's in any language supported by Google we have. So if you go to Google Translate, and Google has your language there, like we have it. So yeah, I mean, you can see it's a big old list right there.
Dope. Awesome.
And the same thing for country. Same thing for countries. We got all these countries. We got them all. And if also, I know for a lot of European sites, you might have a case where you might have, or not just Europe, anywhere, you might have one group of keywords targeted for one language, and maybe one country, and another group of keywords targeted for another language, another country on the same site. That's 100% cost possible in Ollie. So you just add those different groups right here with whatever country, and then also with the language, or you can go back and change them anytime. Just click that edit button right there, and you can go back and change the country and the language at any time.
Cool. All right, I got one final question for you. What are you most excited about with Ollie coming up in the future? Whether it's weeks, months, next year or so, what's on the roadmap? What are you looking forward to?
The first thing, I'm going to be honest with you guys, the first thing, I can't publicly share it yet, just not going to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just not good. Just not something I can publicly share yet. I would say the second is, man, we've gotten so much great feedback this last week. It's been so worth it. I'd actually heard from other founders hey, the greatest value from AppSumo is actually going to be the feedback. And I didn't believe it at first, but no, they were right. Yeah, the feedback we've gotten there's all sorts of little things, and there's some big things, just how we organize the app. I'd say one thing that really jumps out to mind is what I was just talking about a moment ago. It's having that for every link, have a probability, have the power of that link, have the relevance to your site, just stuff. I think that right there is going to just really pop off and make this more useful for everybody.
Awesome. Well, that is all I got for you. We still have a ton more questions, but we don't have time for those now.
Right.
So anybody who did not get their question answered, feel free to ask that on the AppSumo page. You can also, ping their team and get those answered. But I imagine they're going to be in the comments answering all those questions that you guys are throwing up. But Kyle, thank you so much for taking the time to walk through all this. I think this was a really great webinar. People learned a lot, got to see a good insider, and I think folks are super excited about this. So any final words before we sign off?
Oh yeah, thanks so much, guys. Take it easy on our servers today. We're getting we're getting killed. I'm getting I got my Slack over here on the other window, and the dev chat. But we're working on it, guys. If you have any problems today, so we're all on it. So yeah, thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna hang around in here for a little bit and answer any questions. Cheers. And thanks so much, Chris, man.
Thanks so
great
much.
host.
I appreciate you. We'll let you get back to taking care of all those issues. But thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Sumo Links, thank you guys for hopping on, joining us for this. And William, appreciate you being the silent soldier in the comments, helping everybody out. So you guys are awesome, rock stars. Appreciate you, and we'll be talking soon.
All right, cheers.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.